We've talked on my page before about Ruby Franke, the YouTuber and mom parenting coach who has been charged with aggravated child abuse under Utah law for the treatment of her two youngest children. She has now made a plea deal and has agreed to testify against her former partner, Jody Hildebrand, in exchange for this plea deal, and the details are really disturbing. Ruby Franke has admitted to the psychological abuse and physical torture of her children for an extended period of time. It's absolutely disturbing. Her lawyers made a statement that Ruby is a devoted mother and a woman committed to constant improvement, and that Franke believed that her co-defendant, Jody Hildebrand, had the insight to offer a path for continual improvement, and that Hildebrand took advantage of this quest and twisted it into something heinous. The law firm says that Franke has engaged in an introspection that has allowed her to reset her moral compass and understand the full weight of her actions, and that she is now taking responsibility for the part she played in the events leading up to her incarceration. She then goes on to admit in graphic detail how she tortured her son from May through August by forcing him into hours of physical labor, making him do wall sits, making him stand outside directly in the sun for hours or days at a time, punishing him for sneaking water, isolating him, removing any and all entertainment. Basically, it was like solitary confinement. He wasn't allowed to have books or paper, or he ran away and tried to get help, and as a consequence for that was handcuffed, hands and legs. Sounds like what they're describing is basically hog tying him, where he has to lay on his stomach and his hands and feet are both bound together, that he was tied to weights, that he was tied to her. She admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots and also holding his head underwater and smothering his mouth and nose with her hand. She told both her son and daughter that they were evil and possessed, and that this was some sort of righteous act of love while she tortured him. Her four youngest children, who are minors, two of her oldest children are not minors, but her four youngest children are all in state custody. Their father does not have custody of them, has filed for divorce. The case for Child Protective Services is sealed, so we don't really know much about them, but this is the most information that's come out about Ruby Franke and her kids in quite some time. She pled guilty to 4 counts. The sentences will be served consecutively. That means not at the same time, but one after another, and the maximum sentencing is 60 years in prison. Neighbors had called police reporting that they saw the 2 youngest children forced to work outside in the sun. They didn't have shoes on. They weren't okay. People called the police, and the police did not do a thorough investigation.